Prashad is author of 11 books, the latest being The Darker Nations, the People's History of the Third World. The book traces the intellectual origins and the political history of the 20th century attempt to knit together the world's impoverished countries in opposition to the United States and Soviet spheres of influence in the decades following World War II.
The Third World was not a place. It was a project. During the seemingly interminable battles against colonialism, the peoples of Africa, Asia, and Latin America dreamed of a new world. They longed for dignity above all else, but also the basic grievances of life, land, peace, and freedom. They assembled their grievances and aspirations into various kinds of organizations, where their leadership then formulated a platform of demands. These leaders, whether India's Jawaharlal Nehru, Egypt's Gamal Abdel Nasser, Ghana's Kwame Nkrumah, or Cuba's Fidel Castro, met at a series of gatherings during the middle decades of the 20th century. In Bandung, 1955, Havana, 1966, and elsewhere, these leaders crafted an ideology and a set of institutions to bear the hopes of their populations. The Third World comprised these hopes and the institutions produced to carry them forward.
You know, we learned in your book that the Third World was rather an ambitious project and not a place.
I was uncovering in my analysis is during the Cold War, 2/3 of the world's people were not simply proxy. They were not simply playing the game between East and West. They had their own project that was afoot. And that project develops at least in the 1920s, maybe even earlier. That through struggling against colonialism, semi-colonialism, different forms of imperialism, the countries of what we today call the Global South constructed an agenda for how they thought the world should be reconstructed, not just their part of the world, but the whole world. And so what I was interested in doing is to, in a way, rescue that project from absolute obscurity. See, I wanted to suggest in this book that between East and West, from New Delhi to Tehran to Cairo to Havana to Jakarta, through all these places, they were consciously articulating a different way to organize the world, politics of the world, economics of the world, culture of the world, and how society should interrelate with each other.